Hello everybody, today we're going to talk about my last video. We're going to go over the animation process a little bit like I did for my Japanese Spider-Man video. So it's going to be a little bit like the How to Spider-Verse video, except this time we're going to talk about the what did Paul do. A lot of the techniques are actually like the exact same as the How to Spider-Verse video, but there's some new ones, especially for like Spider-Man 2099. So we're gonna see that, and we're also gonna talk about some new animation principles. Well, not principles, but some new animation techniques in this video. So let's get into it. So, like I said, we're gonna talk about this particular video. So, for those who don't know, Paul is the character. Is it's this one. And for those who don't know, he's the actual new love interest for MJ. But he's a terrible character, so we need to kick his ass with Spider-Man 2099. Plus, he's from an actual different Earth. So it fits Spider-Man 2099's MO. He's an anomaly. So to make Paul, what I did was I just took some glass off of Sketchfab, and I took the Sam rig and I modified the skin texture. After I did that, what I did is getting a MJ rig. So I took the waitress rig and just changed the hair color so it actually looks like MJ. Then I took the Spider-Ham rig, which you can see it's on Gumroad. So if you want to pick it up, it's from CJ King. And for the Spider-Man 2099 rig, it's actually my rig. But if you guys want to animate with Spider-Man 2099, I recommend you use this one. It's not the one I use, but it's better. So you can take the Spider-Verse 29, no, I mean the Spider-Man 2099 rig from Lois Reynolds. Once I took all of those once I had all the rigs, what I did is animate the Spider-Ham shot because I prefer to do my action sequences first. And like I said, we're going to talk about the animation techniques I use in this one. So the main thing with this one was it was the actual scaling of certain things. So mainly the hand and the hammer. And the reason we want to do this is it actually adds some charisma to the animation and actually looks better. It's when it's more in your face. It looks more cartoony, a little bit like they do in the actual Spider-Verse movie. So if you actually watch some sequences, they actually use the same technique, which is scaling. Oh yeah, the little thing I forgot to talk about was the actual hand poses. So I want to talk about Spider-Man 2099 in particular. Like this guy has some like extreme hand poses, which I try to replicate. If you actually watch my animation, but if you actually watch the actual movie, like the hands are super dynamic. If you're gonna animate Spider-Man 2099, never do those kind of hand poses. Always do those. So do this, not this. And by the way, that doesn't just apply to Spider-Man 2099. Like, study all character hand poses if you're planning on doing some Spider-Man animations. Another thing I did for this one is I did some stretch and squash, so it looks even more ridiculous and goes with the like the theme that Spider-Man is a cartoony character. I also did some highlight frames. If you actually watch the clip, there's some highlight frames right there. Those can be done in Photoshop. It's nothing too complicated. It's just like a hue modifier, and I added this little impact, which you can find on the internet. Like any cartoon hit image will do. Now let's get into another thing I did for this animation, which is the new web line. If you actually watch the movie, Spider-Man 2099 has a different kind of web. it's not like the traditional web. It's more like of a zip line sort of look. And so if you actually watch frame by frame, you can see like it has like very angular lines before it turns into a straight line. So what I did is I did my own like angular frame for this one, and then it turns into a straight line. This is an actual model, well, a cheap model. It's just a lot of cylinders parented to each other, and then it becomes an actual straight line. It's just like a regular cylinder, and then it turns into this wrap model, which is a lot of toruses wrap around the wrist. So it works pretty well, even though it's probably not the actual technique they use in the movie. But if you want to do it for yourself, just know that you're supposed to do a lot of angular frames before it turns into a straight one, and then you can just add some toruses around the wrist if that's something you want to do. Now into the main event, which is the actual Spider-Man 2099 shader. So this is the actual shader I used for this Spider-Man 29 model. What you're gonna need is mainly like the emission shader for the red parts, and the rest is basically like a regular cartoon shader, which you can see there, with a noise texture. If you actually watch the movie, it's not like exactly the same, but it has some like detail in it. If I can just, you can see like there's like a sketch look to it. Mine doesn't look exactly like that, but for my my like homemade animation, I think the noise texture is gonna do. If you have any idea on how to actually make the lines look like a sketch, you can put them in the comments down below, because I have no idea. So the next thing you want to do is the actual shader for the web lines. So this one's a little bit tricky, because like you actually have the Spider-Verse glow, which if you don't know how to do, I explained it in my last video, how to Spider-Verse. So what you want to do is just make two renders. So one with the actual Spider-Verse bloom, and the other one with a regular bloom. All you need to do is just go into your compositing node, your compositing window, and just do one render with this and one without it. Once you got your two renders, just comp in both of them in any software you like, so After Effects will do, or any other compositing software you can take, and just add a mask, and it does the job pretty good. So yeah, this is how I did it for this shot. And finally, the actual the Spider-Verse portal is an actual rig you can find on Agora Community. You can just take this one. This is what I did, and I just animated so it scales up before Spider-Pig or Spider-Ham just comes out of the portal. I also added this little like sphere with a emission shader, so because in my opinion this looks better than the other one, plus mine wasn't working properly, so I just added this sphere. So when you look through the camera, it actually looks good. And yeah, that's about it for the new shaders. So like the new techniques that I didn't explain in my How to Spider-Verse video. If you want to know how to do like the 2D lines and all those, like the main Spider-Verse shader, you can find out with the How to Spider-Verse video. This is just like an update of all the new techniques I use for the latest video. And yeah, so with that said, happy animating, and yeah, see you later.